Hey, I just wanted to take a few minutes here because I talk about it all the time. I just want to do a video specifically on the Galaxy Note series of phones. I just want to tell you, basically this phone this Galaxy Note 3 is just, I couldn't be happier with this phone, man. I just really couldn't. And it's basically, I haven't really heard of anyone who's that disappointed with it, basically. I mean, there's little defects and glitches here, but you can switch them out on the warranties. But, yeah, man, it's got 3 gigs of RAM. 3 gigs. And it had the top processor at the time. The Note 3 had, like, the Snapdragon 801 Pro or something. It's totally sufficient. Everything in the phone drives the hardware no problem. Even with all the bloatware, it's still, I think it froze on me one time the whole time I've had the phone, and I'm a heavy user of it. So it just works, man. It works for me. It works for what I need it to do. It's beefy enough to just get through the bloatware or get through whatever issues is going on with the internet or whatever. It just kind of powers, it just like gets it done. So yeah, it's more expensive. You can get phones. You can get a Moto G for like $200, but the camera is not even close. It doesn't have LTE. I don't even think it has 4G internet, which is somewhat of a big thing. The battery, this Note has a 3200 milliamp battery, so that's good. That's one of the biggest out there. The battery life on this phone is great. Especially when you hold down the home button and close out your apps. That's something that really saves you a lot on batteries. There's a couple other little tricks you gotta just look up if your battery's draining too quick. But besides that, the battery, once you get it down, the battery just runs. The camera is good. The screen is big enough to look at where you're not gonna squint and lose your damn eyesight by trying to look at it. It's just, I would totally recommend this phone, dude, in all honesty, if you have the money to spend on it, of course. But for me, I was looking at all different ranges. I would have preferred to get the cheapest phone I could, but there was certain features that I wanted out of the phone that I ended up going with the Note. I mean, the screen's really good too. It's a clear screen. The quality, the brightness, and everything. If you look at all the figures, it's basically spec'd out as one of the top at the time, and it works great. It's beefy enough to do its shit, man. It handles business. You got the pen on it. I would just totally recommend this phone to anybody, and I'm sure the Note 4 is the same thing. I'm looking at those. I'm maybe gonna do the T-Mobile jump, because you can, with T-Mobile, you pay off half the phone, and they'll buy the phone back for like half the price of what you paid. So if I paid like $700 for this, I didn't pay for the phone. My girlfriend did. She got it for me as a Christmas gift, or she got it going. She made a lot of payments for me on it. Got me into it. But I'm at T-Mobile. After a year, you can trade in the phone. So $700 phone, you pay the payments on it for a year. And after that, they'll give you $300 credit. You can do it after 1 year, I think. So they'll give me like $350 credit, and half of it's already been paid in the monthly installments, because the installment plan takes 2 years. So basically, as of like the first of the year, I can get out of this phone for free. I can just turn it back in, and I'm even, and I can just go get the Note 4 or whatever, get going on that. But it's basically, when you think about it, it makes more sense, because I could take this phone, I could pay it off right now and turn around. I'm only going to get about $350 for this phone. That's about what it's going for, especially the condition it's in. It might be a $300 phone. So you might actually be making money by the using that T-Mobile jump thing. So yeah, I really like the Note. I like the Note Edge. I think that's really cool that the screen curves down, because when you set the phone on the ground, on the surface, you can see the time and everything. That little strip on the side stays illuminated, so you can see the time. Or if you get a text, the notification comes up on that little screen, and you can just see that, you can glance over it and see what the text says on there without doing anything. That's a lot of people think that it's a cool idea, but it is not a gimmick. It is far from a gimmick. That is a very useful feature, extremely useful. Something that I'm sure, it's worth it to me, because it's just so cool to be able to do that. Okay, Note 3. Go ahead and buy it wherever you want. I'll probably make a blog post on it and throw an Amazon affiliate link in there with like the Note 3 and 4 unlocked international version. So if you want to just, wherever you are in the world or in the country, whatever service you have, you can just buy the unlocked one cash and you're good to go on that, even on prepaid or anything. So look into it, man. Consider it. I know my very first video on this channel was about the Note 3. And now I'm going to come back to it again and update, because a year later, I am still extremely happy with this phone. It is an excellent phone. Great phone. Highly recommended if you're in the market for a phone. Either the Note 3 or 4. I don't know what the price is going to be on the 3. If it's going to be that much cheaper to where you might just want to get the 4. That's usually how it goes. Like, it might be $100 less. It's kind of, that's the deal with phones. Like, if you already have the phone, you can keep it. Especially with this phone. This is a 2-year phone. This thing will run, guaranteed, for all through next year too. If I wanted to run this machine for next year too, 2015. This is a 2-year phone. You know, a lot of times people, they hold back on upgrading because your phone still works and you can keep it and you may as well, you know, just hold on to it. But if you're going to buy a new phone, I found that a lot of times it doesn't make sense to get the last year's model when the new one comes out, because the old one will just be like $100 less. And you're basically like, dude, I'll just pay the extra $100 and get the brand new one with all the new stuff on it. So there's just a little tip on buying phones in case you're like in the market for a device at any time in your life. Maybe, I don't know, maybe by some chance you might be in the market for a wireless device. But okay.